Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Hiroki. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to keep your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Falsehood, important things are giving you peace.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate the cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest.
With a special pride never written before or since, tall words proudly saying, "We the people."
My microphone's already on. I guess you guys got to hear me early.
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
The Last Victorian has subscribed. Qapla, the Last Victorian, thank you for subscribing. Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for June 9th, 2021. Today we are watching Season 5, Episode 13, For the Uniform, which is, of course, one of the more famous episodes of Deep Space Nine, where Captain Sisko has to try and capture the traitor Michael Eddington, and we see just how far Sisko is willing to go if pushed to capture a traitor, and it's quite far. Quite far. So this stream has been up since early this morning, so unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of the chat got cut off. So the first comment I see is from Kronos at 3:50 p.m., which, Jesus, it means I don't know how much stuff was taken away. But he says the episode duet as a question mark. I don't know. He must have been responding to somebody. This is not Duet. Duet was, I believe, a first season or a second season episode. Duet was a great episode, but this is not it. Kronos is this. That is a very rewatchable episode. It is indeed. It is indeed. And then we go into the final countdown. Qapla, Kronos. And Kronos' Bird, what did you think about the episode Duet? To which I responded, Duet was great. And then we have my friend Rock Solid Productions, who I apologize again, Rock Solid. I did not realize that this past Friday was your 4-year anniversary of becoming a YouTube streaming channel. And if I had seen the title of the video, I surely would have watched it earlier. But I did go check it out, and I watched it in full today, and it was a great video. A look back at how Rock Solid's channel has changed in the 4 years. He actually looks like he might have lost a couple of pounds. Yeah, his beard did get a little grayer, which he noticed, but he looks like he did lose a few pounds. And his his lighting and his production quality way better. Unlike mine, which, if anything, is arguably worse than when I started. But congratulations, Rock Solid, on 4 years. And a big thank you for the shout out you gave me at the end of that video. And I will continue to read your over hashtagged comments, such as hashtag get well soon bird, hashtag birds of bleeding heart liberal, hashtag confirmed, hashtag hail on Karoga, hashtag pound sign, hashtag just because you're sick doesn't mean being late is acceptable, hashtag imprison Aberjam, and hashtag we want Thomas Potts. All good stuff. All good stuff. Richie Poole says Kronos to join Bird's stream and sing us a song. You to join. No. Kronos isn't going to sing a song. He's welcome up on it. If a day I have a panel, Kronos is always welcome to come up. Kronos says, oh crap, I need to go say hi to Rock Solid. And Bird's on time. No way. Yes, I was. Richie Poole says, well, back to work for me. I'm sorry, Richie. Thanks for saying hello. John DeMarco says, greetings. All greetings, John. Richie Poole says, it's early. Oh, pray 5. Project Storytime says, bird is the word. Moxley fans says, hello to us all. Qapla, Moxley. Where are we? Sorry, I lost my spot. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Qapla, 47 Yorktown. Chrono says, it's the mirror universe. I hope not. Mago says, bird started early today. I started at 5 minutes early, which is 4 p.m. So that's the time I aim to start, even though I set it at 4:05. And Chrono says, hey to Moxley, and hey to Project. Hey to Project Storytime, I guess. Yes, Project Storytime. And hey to Mako, who says hello to Kronos. The Last Victorian says, hail Bird of Prey, how are you, sir? The subscriber formerly known as Monty. Monty is back as the Last Victorian. Qapla Monty. Who now be known as the Victorian. Kronos says, hey to Victorian. Moxley fan says, we, the people. Absolutely, from the opening of the video. And Aravic Sonder with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much. Captain Kirk approves. Captain Kirk approves of your super chat. As do I. Thank you, Aravic Sonder. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Kronos says, hey, baby. Oh, yeah. Hello, world, says Kronos. The Last Victorian says, Bird of Prey, thanks, Bird. It's your old pal, Monty. See, I told you I'd be back, and I'm happy you are. Deej Odyssey says, hello, world. It's the Pink Bunny, ruler of all the Marvel Universe. And Deej and I and others just came from Anti-Trekker's stream, who was doing a full review with spoilers of the Loki series, episode 1 that just started on Disney Plus last night. There will be no spoilers on Loki in this stream. But if you want spoilers, go see Anti-Trekker's stream that just ended. Speaking of which, Anti-Trekker donated $1 and says, death to Karoga. You know what? That actually might be Anti-Trekker. 99% of the time, if somebody puts in a name, I think it isn't them, but that really might be Anti-Trekker. Death to Karoga. Sure, Anti-Trekker. Whatever you say. The Last Victorian says, to Moxley, Bird won't get us confused now. Indeed. Chrono says, hey to Deej, and great episode. Deej says, hey, back to Kronos. Moxley says, bird of prey. Qapla bird, hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you, Moxley. John Street says, remember to go over to www.birdofprey5.com/SR if you want to watch along with Bird of Prey 5 only when he is streaming the episode or movie. Yes, that is the screening room. It's best that you bookmark it, but if it's your first time, the address is also at the bottom of the YouTube video. You go to birdofprey5.com/SR in another tab or another web browser or on another device, and you can watch the episode live with me only for while we're watching it, while we're doing this live. If you catch this later, you'll need to have your own copy of the episode, which is Star Trek DS9, Season 5, Episode 13, For the Uniform. And it's available, of course, on DVD, on Paramount Plus, on Netflix, on Hulu, and Amazon Prime Video. And the Random Menace with a €2 super chat. Thank you, the Random Menace. Says, death to the death. Long live the life. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Kronos has too many tabs open. He's like Bird. I do have quite a few tabs. Project Story Time says, Sisko is one bad mother. I'll shut my mouth. Indeed. John Street says, there are 4 sassies a-rooing in the light of the grand orphan nephew O'Prey. Wow. And John Araki with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. A little Lieutenant Savick action there. Deej says, damn, I can't fast forward to the DS9 part of the show. Don't worry, we're going to get started really, really quickly. Kronos says, what is a rock solid? And Cat's Army donated $1 and says, we're coming for Yosef. We heard he loves to take care of us. Oh boy, there's an army of cats heading to Yosef. Hashtag more cats for Yosef. With eyebrow raising Dax. The cats, you want to concentrate and headed towards Slovakia. There's a train coming. It's being built very soon. It will help get you to Bratislava, and then you're not far from Yosef's house. You can find your way there. Josh Street says, if you want Bird of Prey to read your comment, only if it's important, put at Bird of Prey in your comment to get Bird of Prey 5 to read the comment. Thank you, Josh Street. And Kronos says, it's good to hear you laugh, Bird of Prey. Thank you, Kronos. Josh Street says, Bird of Prey, are you going to have someone read the Bird of Prey while the stream is going on? I'll read the at Bird of Prey 5 comments if they're necessary. Corona says, I'm sick too, just in the brain. Thomas Bot says, what? Hello, Thomas. Project Story Time says, get well soon. Thank you, Project Story Time. The Random Menace says, greetings from the future. Greetings. Kronos is still weirded out that I was early. Kronos says, that's a Kirk nod indeed. Who it was? Kronos says, I'm waiting for Deej to get the Pink Panther outfit. It'd probably go well with Deej. Deej says, Bird of Prey, if they want spoilers, I did a live review last night of Loki. We'll be doing it for the next 5 weeks also, too. I went to your live review, Deej. Most of it seemed silent. I mean, I was going around trying to find the review part. Maybe it was towards the end. But there was another video that you put up that was deleted or taken down. I don't know. I don't know if that was your review. But it was sounded like you were watching it, but there wasn't much commentary going on. But if that's your review, I put in where the review starts. Chrono says, Bird is the Porg. Or Borg. That's fine. I can be the Borg. John Araki says hashtag free Gina or free Gina, whichever you want. The last Victorian says bird of prey, death to death. The only exception is that French who should just die. No. And Chrono says, yay, a young Curtsy, I suppose he means Curtsy Alley. Hello, jerk, says Kronos. Indeed, you need a Pink Panther suit, dude. Okay, so let's go ahead and head over to the screening room, because that's where we watch the episode of Deep Space Nine. And I will do my countdown, and it will start, and then it will be on YouTube. You'll be a screenshot about every 10 seconds or so. Okay. Josh reads his bird of prey. The Porg just keep the Wookiees and the hungry orphans away from him. Yes, there's a big difference between Porg and Borg. Porg are much tastier. Okay. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, load. And yes, I was skipping a lot of chats that didn't have at Bird of Prey 5. Okay. Captain's log, star date. Oh, shit. Okay, hold on. I gotta pause. I gotta pause it a second. Okay. So they went to the Badlands because somebody claimed to have info on the whereabouts of Michael Eddington. Sisko's walking around a Maquis settlement looking for a friend of his. Sinkta. This guy was welding. He stops welding. You would think they'd have robots that could weld by now. He points through a hole in the rocks. Sisko heads towards it. Doesn't say thank you. Josh reads, oh, bird already broke the stream. I didn't break it. And Sisko saying Syntok under his breath up. There's a phaser to his head or a disruptor. And it says throw it to the ground. It's Eddington. And tells him to turn around. And now Eddington raises the gun. Doesn't point it at him. Mr. Sinkta won't be joining. His shuttle had an accident. He asks if he's dead. He says, you don't understand the Maquis. We're not killers. His accident has marooned him on a particularly nasty planet, but he is very much alive. Sisko says, how merciful. You condemned him to a slow death. He says, it's more than he deserves. He was going to sell us out. He betrayed us. And Sisko, there's a subject you know a lot about. He's like, you've been on my trail for 8 months. And then face to face, that's all we have to say. You also have to say to me. And Sisko says, I'll say the rest at your court martial. And Eddington says, what heart hurts you more? The fact that I left Starfleet to fight for a higher cause, or that I left under your watch? Sisko says, you didn't leave it, you betrayed it. You used it to feed the Maquis info. You misled us with false info. There's a word for that. Treason. And he says, look out there, to Sisko. He points the gun at him to make him look. Look out there at those people who are welding pipes and shit. Those people were colonists. They had farms and shops and homes and schools and buckets, I assume. And the Federation handed their world over to Cardassians. They made them refugees overnight. Sisko says, not that simple. You know it. They don't have to live there. They offered to be resettled. They don't want to be resettled. They want to go home to the lives they built. How would you feel if the Federation gave your father's home to the Cardassians? Sisko's not here to debate. And Eddington says, he didn't tell you to turn around. He says, look at him, Captain, again. He's not going to shoot you. You can turn around. They're humans, just like you and me. And Starfleet took everything away. Remember it next time you put on that uniform. There's a war, and you're on the wrong side. Sisko says, you know what I see out there? I see victims. Not of Cardassia, the Federation. Victims of you, the Maquis. You sold them on the dream that one day they go back to their farms and schools and homes and buckets, I assume. But you know they never will. The longer you keep the hope alive, the longer they suffer. Go ahead, shoot me, says Sisko. And Eddington says, someday I might take you up on that. For now, he's going to leave him with some advice. Don't come after me. You'll regret it. And he beams away. The last Victorians, says Bird of Prey, they always start off with a captain's log. I wonder if replicators are heavy on the iron and carbs, causing some digestive issues. Maybe add some softener to the recipes. Kronos' Bird of Prey, the orphan miners are the Maquis. They seem like they'd be experienced. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. The last Victorians is Bird of Prey, so the Maquis are all descended from bucket seal, is what you're saying. No, I said no such thing. Dr. Scotty says, yes, the intro by Bird, Qapla, Dr. Scotty. And the last Victorians is Bird of Prey. I miss your fantastic singing. It's worthy of the London Opera House. Hello, Captain Trek, Qapla. So Sisko is taking them to maximum warp. They're in firing range in 22 minutes. They're going to reach the plasma fields 2 minutes before they're in range. The starship Malinshi is on patrol. He's the new holo communicator. The chief has had it online for 6 hours. And he's eager for somebody to try it. So he says, open whatever with the Medici. Yes, we're receiving our image. This is the very first time in Star Trek canon history that Holograms are used for communication. He's sitting on his bridge, and the captain is standing on the bridge of the Defiant. This has absolutely never happened in Star Trek Discovery. So if you remember this happening in Star Trek Discovery, you must be mistaken, because this is clearly the first time the Federation has ever done this. Kronos' Snooty beamed up the other night. It was wonderful. Beam me up. Snooty beamed you up? And Kronos says, hey to Garfield. Oh, Eddington's dropped out of warp. And he says, go to Impulse, raise shields. Kira's like, what's she doing? And now he's headed directly for us. He's locked his weapons on the Defiant. Kira says, he's no match. Is this a suicide run? And Sisko says, not Eddington. Let's not give him a chance. And he tells Worf to fire phasers. And as soon as Worf fires phasers, the lights go out. Every computer system is down. And all the backups. We're losing control over everything. Weapons, navigation, helm, propulsion, bridge to engine room. Comms are down too, apparently. Yeah. And Eddington, apparently, the Maquis got upgraded holo communicators too. So Eddington projected himself onto the bridge. The memory cores have been wiped. They've got to be reprogrammed. And he's like, these work really well. He's glad they were able to procure one. And he's like, you must have put a virus in the Defiant's computers. He said it took a while to find one that wouldn't be detected by Odo or Chief O'Brien. Sisko said, I'll add it to your list of charges. He's like, as long as you're making a list, add this. And they fire on the Defiant a little bit. Not enough to kill anybody, just enough to make a point. He says, you know what the problem is, Captain? You made it personal. It didn't have to be. It's not for me. I have no animosity towards you. He says, does it really pay to risk yourself, your ship, your crew on a personal vendetta? And would Starfleet approve? Sisko doesn't need lectures about Starfleet. And he says, no matter what happens, it's not over between us. He's like, Eddington says, I'm the one in control. Your ship is defenseless. I could destroy it right now, but I won't. The Maquis are not killers. Our quarrel's with the Cardassians. Leave us alone and we leave you alone. He tells them to cease fire. And he says, am I supposed to thank you, says Sisko. He says, no, I'm not going to make you grovel. He says, unlike you, I know when to walk away. Maybe you should think about it on your long trip home. Wesley Crusher says, bird of prey, greetings, birds, turds, and nerds. Greetings, Wes. And John DeMarco is correct. There is no Star Trek show named Discovery. Wesley says, I'm late again. It's okay, Wes. Captain's logged. Defiance returned to the station, but not under its own power. The Malinche had to tow him in. Eddington's Cascade virus disabled everything. They have to reload and reprogram the entire database. And Sisko says, how long? 2 weeks. That's 3 shifts working around the clock. He says, if there's any way to speed things up, of course, O'Brien will do what he can. Odo removed 2 similar Cascade viruses hidden on the station, the computer. He could have disabled the entire system, but he doesn't know that he found all of them. Eddington was DS9's chief of security for 18 months. He had the opportunity to infiltrate every system on the station. And Odo just wants to say, have you ever reminded Starfleet Command They stationed Eddington because they didn't trust me. And Sisko says, no. And Odo says, well, please do. And Worf is the last person left. 2 freighters have disappeared near the Badlands. Several thousand tons of selenium and rhodium nitrite. He says that's not very valuable cargo. Dax is analyzing the possibilities. Josh reads his bird of prey. The Kurogans join the Dominion to put down the Maquis, the Kurogan orphan miners. Captain of the Medici has given them a new assignment. He's the one that's got to bring in Eddington. Sisko says, you mean you've been ordered to help me? He's like, no, your orders have changed. Eddington is no longer your responsibility. Did they give a reason? He says, you've been after him for 8 months. Not to put too fine of a point. You didn't get the job done. You're a failure. He understands how Sisko feels. If one of my officers has fooled me, like Eddington fooled you, and Sisko turned around, he's like, that was a bad choice of words. He's like, no, you're right. They did fool me. He says that Starfleet believes you're vulnerable, or Eddington is concerned. He knows you too well. So maybe it's time for someone he doesn't know to go after him. John Street says, what is this discovery you speak of? I don't know, a terrible nightmare. The last Victorians as bird of prey have a hard time seeing Renee Odo as anything else other than Mr. House from Fallout, who was a play on Howard Hughes. He really nailed that role. Well, I haven't seen that, so I have no issue. Sci-Fi Guy says, hello, all bird of prey, Captain Trek, and my personal favorite non-troll Kronos. Qapla, Sci-Fi Guy. One of my favorite scenes. Sisko boxing with the thing that hangs from the ceiling. In 25 years of duty, he's never been taken off an assignment until now. Dax is holding the punching bag. So this has nothing to do with ex-security officer. He worked under me for 1.5 years. He saw him almost every day. He had him to dinner. Even took him to a baseball game in the holosuite. He never saw it. It's his idea to be a judge of character, and only did he not see it, he put him up for a promotion. He says he played me all right. What's my excuse? Is he a changeling? No. Is he a being of 7 lifetimes of experience? No. Is he a wormhole alien? No. He's just a man. And he beat me. That's what really gets him. He's just a man. It's good you're working out on the bag, Benjamin. Because you're going to have to let go of this one, says Dax. He's someone else's problem now. And you got to live with it. And Kira beeps in. You better get up here. There's news, and it's about Eddington. Eddington just upped the ante. He attacked Cardassian colony with a nerve agent that's harmless to most humanoids, but deadly to Cardassians. The Maquis intend to reclaim the planet. Where did they get this material to make this biogenic weapon? Dax does. She should have seen it earlier. The selenium and the whatever nitrites can be reformulated and synthesized and to produce cobalt diselenide. Duh. The Medici or whatever it is too far. You could make enough to poison every Cardassian colony in the DMZ. Are there any other starships? Nope. The Malenchi is the only one in the sector. So unless they stop them, the Maquis have turned the tide. He said there is another ship in the area. It's moored at Docking Bay 3. Well, or I'm just saying there's the runabouts. They're all going to the Defiant. No. They're not even in uniform. They can go to warp 6, but the inertial dampeners haven't been fully repaired. The weapons are online, but they have to be manually calibrated. They can shoot, but they don't know what they'll hit. The comm system is fried. Comm badges. Oh, comm badges won't work either. Not with all the interference from unshielded EPS conduit. Have to improvise. Your new comm system, Cadet. It's Nog. One of my favorite scenes with Nog. So, Nog is going to be the one. Relay through engineering. Mr. Academy. Since Nog will be able to hear him while the bridge is exploding around him. He says, yes, they might be going to a combat situation. Nog is ready. The last Victorians is Bird of Prey. The problem with Starfleet and the Federation is that they are really reluctant to get their hands dirty. Not everything can be solved with a cup of tea. Sometimes you need a big stick. Josh reads his Wesley. Bird didn't pull a Bird of Prey today, but he did switch over to his steampunk Geloja machine. The holo communicator still works, but they have no replicators, no anything else. Kronos is Bird of Prey. What chemicals are deadly to Kurogans? The standard ones. Josh reads, Bird of Prey, use the runabouts. Are you trying to get the Defiant destroyed like the USS Odyssey? No, I was trying to save the Defiant. So Dax is saying Sisko's becoming more like Curzon all the time. Consider it a compliment. And the next time she goes off half-talk, think about this moment and be more understanding. I wonder how far this has been since the 2 weeks. It's a very crowded ship for one under repair. Stand by impulse at power. I'm not going to tell you the chemicals, Kronos. That'd be stupid. They're sealing the airlock, detaching umbilicals, initializing the deflector, easing out. And the Defiant disengages from the station. Hard to port. Man, if it's going to be this hard to fly, just go back. They're really making this hard. Why would you head back towards the station? They're headed right for a pylon. That's just stupid. That was a stupid decision to make. It looked good. Course for the Badlands, send in warp speed. 3, 2, 1, mark. And boom, warp speed. Warp 6 as soon as possible. Engine room reports. Warp 7 is available. The last Victorians is bird of prey. The chemical is dihydrogen monoxide. Oh, that's the most deadly chemical ever. Sisko wants to start running battle drills. They've entered the plasma fields of the Badlands to begin their search for Eddington. Dax says, steady as she goes. Forward scanners aren't functioning. So he asked the engine room where are the field stabilizers. Field stabilizers should be online in 15 minutes, says Nog. She's got a small neutrino signature. 900 kilometers. It's moving. It's a Maquis Raider. Sisko says set an intercept course. 3/4 impulse. Incoming transmission. It's Eddington. And they go back to the holo communicator. Says, well, Mr. Eddington. He says, you just couldn't resist the temptation to come after me. Sisko says, I like to finish what I start. He says, you're going to be disappointed. You're not going to get me. And he has a consolation prize. It's more of a gift. He's sending over a document. It's a book. One of his favorites. Les Miserables. He's read it, says Sisko. He said, recently, you should read it again. Pay close attention to a character of Inspector Javert, the French policeman who spends 20 years chasing a man for stealing a loaf of bread. Sound like anyone you know. And he said, why don't you beam it over and we'll discuss it. Beam over. So they're closing on the Maquis ship. He's locking target. Weapons are locked. He says, why don't you surrender your vessel? He's like, it's a tempting offer, but I have other plans. He says, enjoy the book. Sir, the neutrino readings are dissipating. It's not a ship. It was an unmanned probe. It was transmitting a fake warp signature. He's up to something outside the plasma fields. Kronos says, Wesley, it would be better if you flinged cats at Bird of Prey 5. Les Miserables is a real book. Yes, Dan. Les Mis. It's also a play. You generally read it in high school, or at least that's when I had to read it. Boring as fuck. To me. I hated it. But I understand other people might like it. The starship Melenchi has been ambushed by the Maquis. It's dead in space. They're getting a distress call. I remember when we read Les Mis for the first time. And I understand this is high school. The English teacher brought in this woman from a grade above us who she was so in love with the book that she was telling us, I'm reading it for like the 27th time. And this time I'm identifying as like some sewer rat or some bullshit. And like I'm sitting there can't believing what I'm listening to. Like, is this teacher so stupid to think that the way to get this class to like a book is to bring in the I'm the same nerdiest, but dorkiest fucking person they could find in the school to come to our class and tell us that this book is so great that it's changed her life and she's reading it for the 27th time and she's identifying as a fucking sewer rat. And I could not believe what was happening. I was like, is this real? Like, was I in a holodeck? I'm looking around. People are just ignoring this shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was in the accelerated classes. I was a smart kid. But this is like beyond ridiculous, stupid, loony stuff. Oh my God. I still to this day cannot disassociate the book from this loony woman who came in to tell us how much she loved it and read it. And I have no doubt she's probably like, head of gender studies at NYU or something now. So yeah, I'm sure she had a productive life. The Last Victorians is, it's French, so it can be safely ignored. A bird of prey agreed by calling it boring. Indeed. Kronos never read the book. Don't. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, Kronos wants me to come over to your house and throw cats at you. No, he means Joseph's house. John DeMarco says he liked the story of Les Mis, but the book could have been a lot shorter. Joseph says Les Mis is a great book. So Odo has this coded message he's trying to figure out. Eddington once said, the best place to hide something is in plain sight. Since it's a Breen nursery rhyme, so Eddington is using the music as a signal, as a rendezvous in the Breen system, or a Breen settlement, which isn't far from the DMZ. They need to be kept very cold storage. And if anyone knows how to keep things cold, it's the Breen. Odo's hologram goes away now. Wesley says you haven't experienced Les Mis until you've seen it live in France, which I have not. The Last Victorian says, Bird of Prey, Victor Hugo, who wrote that mess, was writing in a dead language. He wasted a lot of time and effort writing in non-English language, and he also used the metric system, so a triple idiot. So Eddington has one of 4 colonies as his next range, but these 2 are unlikely because defense systems were upgraded by the Cardassians. So there's only Quintal and Baroric. Quintal has a mining operation, but not fully operational. But Panora is a more tempting target. Most of their defense systems are damaged, and constant ion storms. It's a good place to hide. Panora is a more logical target. He said, then Eddington will attack Quinta. He likes being unpredictable. Kronos is fire Garfield O'Prey torpedoes. They're too late. Eddington's detonated. The warheads are ready. It's already spreading through the planet. Eddington's always a step ahead of us. There's residual neutrinos. 1, maybe 2 Maquis raiders behind the moon. He says, go after them. Full impulse. Charge phaser banks. How long to intercept? Hard to port. Stick with this one. Power to forward shields. This is lock target. Fire. Oh shit, they just blew it out of the sky. Everybody's dead. How do you know Eddington wasn't on that? The Maquis, they're making another run for the planet. She doesn't get it. And more speed. They locked phasers on one of the transport ships, evacuating Cardassians. Oh shit. They disabled the transport. It's losing power. It's going down. And they beamed the crew off. No, they're out of transporter range. Also, your transporters weren't working. Oh, well, Javert. Let's see how deep your obsession with me is. You can't outrun or outfight the Defiant. But if you come after me, you have to pay a price. You have to let all those helpless Cardassians die. The choice is yours. God damn it. 2 minutes to impact. It'll probably take you at least a minute to get back to the planet. They're just Cardassians, though. Helm, bring us about. Engage tractor beam. And Eddington waves before he disappears. He knows he got the upper hand again. Sisko is not happy. If only you had blown up the other raider, Sisko. So they are towing the Cardassian. Well, also, it's very nice that their tractor beam is working, because wasn't that all part of the stuff that wasn't supposed to be working? Tractor beam and transporters, replicators. They towed the transport out of the gravitation. Says release the tractor beam. The Cardassians can limp their way home in a day or two. Oh, he's reading Les Mis. And Dax says, I can't stand Victor Hugo. He tried to read The Hunchback of Notre Dame. She couldn't get through it. It was so melodramatic. And his heroines are so two-dimensional. Eddington compares him to the character Inspector Hervé, a policeman who relentlessly pursues some guy for a trivial offense. In the end, Javert's own inflexibility destroys him. So Dax says, you can't believe that description fits you. He's just trying to get under your skin. Sisko says he did that 8 months ago. What strikes me about this book is that Eddington says it's one of his favorites. Dax says that there's no accounting for taste. Because let's think about it. A Starfleet security officer is fascinated by a 19th century French melodrama. And now he's a member of the Maquis. It's like he's living out his own fantasy, says Dax. You know what, says Sisko. Les Miserables. It's not about the policeman. It's about Valjean, the victim of a monstrous injustice. Spends his entire life helping people, making noble sacrifices. Alas, Victorians is bird of prey. I had the police chase me for a trivial offense for miles once, about 80 of them over the course of an hour. Oh boy. So that's what is. Eddington sees himself fighting against insurmountable odds. He's the hero of his own story. That makes Sisko the villain. And what does every hero want to do? Kill the bad guy. No, that's part of it, says Sisko. Heroes only kill when they have to. They could have killed him at the refugee camp or in the Defiant. But in the best melodramas, the villain creates a situation where the hero has to sacrifice himself for the people, for the cause, one final grand gesture. Sisko needs to become the villain. Josh reaches Bird of Prey. O'Brien can fix anything, so they must be descendants of the one and only, the great one, Scotty. They're going to add trilithium to each torpedo. Yeah. And he says the extra mass is going to make it less offensive. He's not going to fire it at ships. What's the nearest Maquis colony? Solosos 3, less than an hour away. Set its course for Solosos 3. Send the following messages on all Maquis frequencies. To all members of the Maquis resistance, this is Captain Sisko of the USS Defiant. In response to Maquis' use of biogenic weapons in recent attacks, I'm about to take the following actions. In exactly 1 hour, I will detonate 2 quantum torpedoes that will scatter trilithium resin into Solosos 3, making the planet uninhabitable to all human life for the next 50 years. I suggest evacuation plans begin immediately. Now, he doesn't say if it's deadly to Cardassians or not, but it is to humans. And now everybody's looking at him like he's crazy. He's like, what are you waiting for? Carry out your orders. Dan says, Bird of Prey, no, I don't like The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I never even read that one. I just remember Scotty saying, Hunchback? People? Whales, Mr. Scott. Whales. A minute left, and there's no sign they're beginning to evacuate. It tells Worf to begin to fire torpedoes. Oh, Eddington is transmitting. He's like, what are you really up to, Javert? You expect me to believe a decorated Starfleet officer, the pride of the service, is going to poison the entire planet? Sisko says, that's exactly what I'm going to do. He says, you're bluffing, says Eddington. And he says, Commander, launch torpedoes. Worf looks at him, and Sisko has to repeat himself. Commander, I said launch torpedoes. Aye, sir, says Worf. And they fire 2 torpedoes. And they make beautifully large, it looks great from the atmosphere, from space. He says, do you realize what you've done, says Eddington. He says, I've just begun. I'm going to eliminate every Maquis colony in the DMZ. He's like, you're talking about turning hundreds of thousands of people into homeless refugees. He says, you're right. You proved that the Maquis have become an intolerable threat to the security of the Federation, and he's going to eliminate them. He says, but the people in the caves didn't attack the Malinchi. He says, you should have thought about that before you attacked the starship. They're sending to another colony, preparing 2 more torpedoes. He's like, can't you see what's happening to you? You're going against everything you claim to believe in. For what? To satisfy a personal vendetta? Sisko says, you betrayed your uniform. And Eddington says, you're betraying it right now. He feels sorry for him. This obsession with Eddington. Look what it's cost him. Major, shut that thing off. No, Commander, prepare to launch torpedoes. Wait, says Eddington. If you call off your attack, I'll turn over all our biogenic weapons. Not enough, says Sisko. Ah, now Eddington gets it. All right, Javert. I'll give you what you want. Me. That's it. That's it. That's how Sisko did it. Only having to poison one planet. Kronos is bird of prey. You betrayed your uniform. Yep. The resettlement efforts in the DMZ are proceeding. The Maquis planets. The Maquis will make new homes on planets they're whatever were forced to abandon. Odo says, I gather your trip was productive. And there's Eddington being walked out by security officials. Constable, and this way. And Dax says, Ben, your plan to poison the Maquis planets, you didn't clear it with Starfleet, did you? And he says, I knew I forgot to do something. Dax says, that a big gamble. He says, that's what it takes to be a good villain. And Dax says, sometimes I like it when the bad guy wins. Dax likes the bad guys. We've always known it. Let's face it. John DeMarco, Sisko didn't actually kill anyone on the planet as far as we know. They just had to trade planets. Yeah. Nobody actually died. Actually, the only people Sisko killed were the people in that Maquis ship. Now, you could argue that was a valid target. Honestly, looking back at this episode, I'm a bit surprised that he blew up that Maquis ship without even knowing who was in it. But that was the only, to me, that was the worst quote-unquote crime possibly he committed. Because the Maquis weren't there killing anybody. And he did just blow up a ship without scanning or attempting to beam out anybody who was on it. That seemed a little cold-hearted. But they were poisoning entire planets. So, is that a fair thing? I suppose it is. Robert Green says, hail Berto Prey 5, hail Karoga, hail Robert. Rock Solid says, hashtag first, hashtag I am first, hashtag dear Bob, hashtag you can start the stream now. No, Rock Solid, the stream is just about over. Carlos's chemical warfare against your own people was okay. Josh reaches Bird of Prey. How do we know the other raider was crewed? Well, because they're not automatic ships. They need people in them to fly. Project Storytime says Sisko is willing to make the hard calls, apparently. John DeMarco says, when I first watched this episode, I was also surprised Sisko just blew up the Maquis ship. However, they did attack other starship earlier. They did. It just seemed a little... It seemed a little bit cringe. Josh Street says, Bird of Prey, we demand Babylon 5 Monday. Well, that's not going to happen. Carlo Albanese says, praise the soup. Jedi Bill, enjoy a good brew, Captain Track. And as always, hail Karoga, Bird of Prey 5. Thank you, Carlo. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings, Bird of Prey, Mo Prey, Sis O'Prey, the Ball Buster, Nephew O'Prey, and fellow nerds. Hope you're doing okay, Bert. Thank you, Mountains. I'm hanging in there. You are welcome, Random Menace. You are welcome in Qapla. And with that, guys, I think we're going to call it a stream. I know it was a fairly quick one, but DS9s often are. Roxod says, more improved Bird of Prey hates me. No, Roxod, did you hear me? Were you not here earlier where I talked about your 4th anniversary video? How sorry I was that I missed it. How great it was, your 4th anniversary video. and how I recommended everybody watch it, and that I watched it in full this morning. So I did say all that. Josh treats his bird of prey. We send other ships being remote controlled in Brother TNG DS9. Where, yeah, that wasn't remote controlled. They knew damn well there was people on there. The Last Victorians is bird of prey. Nightman, take care of yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Qapla. And yeah, just got here. I'm sorry. You can always rewind. Qapla all. Tomorrow we'll do, if all goes to plan, some more open lines. Roxanne says, I was here to talk about how you wouldn't start the stream, and now how you won't do Dear Bop. We'll do Dear Bop on Friday, I hope. Qapla all, bird out. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop affiliate links, and all your Birdo Prey 5 needs. At the main Birdo Prey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Birdo Prey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Birdo Prey 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Kuroga.